Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe.
That is the message from President Biden after the second largest bank collapse in American history this weekend. Silicon Valley Bank fell over the weekend as regulators shut down New York's Signature Bank. Biden said customers of the failed banks would have access to their money today, the funds coming from the Federal Deposit Insurance Fund, which banks pay into and not from taxpayers. All this talk of bank failures has a lot of people concerned about the safety of their money. 3 News Now reporter Ron Johnson looked into what this means for the average consumer here at home.
Mark Hock is the CEO of Pinnacle Bank and says the phones have been ringing all weekend.
Lots of calls from people across the state, questions about is your bank in good shape, questions about are my deposits safe, questions about FDIC insurance.
Richard Baier with the Nebraska Bankers Association is fielding similar questions. They want to put fears to rest for anyone with money in a Nebraska bank.
In our case, every bank doing business as a state or federally chartered bank in the state of Nebraska, and there's about 168 of those doing business in the state, from Fall City out to Shadron and pretty much every community in between.
Baier says banks in the state are FDIC insured. That means they'll cover funds in an account up to $250,000. The FDIC insures your average checking and savings accounts. They also insure cashier's checks and money orders. What they don't insure are investments, crypto assets, and mutual funds, among other things. Baier says people with assets not FDIC insured should consider depositing any funds in an FDIC insured bank. In the case of Pinnacle Bank, Hock says there are options for people to insure money if they have more than the $250,000 threshold.
One, we can pledge securities to those deposits. Lots of times municipalities will require that we pledge assets to cover those deposits that they've made. We also use a company called IntraFi, which is an exchange network which can give up to $125 million or more of FDIC coverage through their network of other banks.
He and Baier want to make sure Nebraskans remain confident in banking.
I think banks in general are here to take care of those needs.
I think a lot of people today, Ron, joining us live in studio now, have questions today they didn't have on Friday before some of this stuff happened. So what did you find out in terms of resources, the best place to go if you do have concerns?
Yeah, I talked to Richard Baier from the NBA, Nebraska Bankers Association, about that. The best place to go really is to your bank. Sometimes you think they might have some resources. The best place to go is to your own bank because they're going to know more likely what you need to do, depending upon whatever you have. He says they are the best place to consider things you need for whatever.
And I think get the information. Don't just sit and worry, but actually seek out that information, Ron. Thank you.